Hello! Welcome to this week's book review video. Today we're going to be talking about a very short and sweet novel by Paul Fleischman, Whirligig. I'm not gonna lie. The main reason I picked up Whirligig is because it's short, and I found the cover work very interesting and compelling. I had no idea what a Whirligig was before I picked up this book. Now I know. This book, I did not have high hopes for. I did not have high expectations at all for Whirligig. The reviews were so-so, but I found myself pleasantly surprised by how thoughtful and how depressing a little YA novel can be. I love a good sad book. I love to cry when I read. I love to feel brokenhearted. I love to feel empathy for our characters as bad things happen to them, and I like to see them overcome trials and tribulations. And Whirligig talks a lot about themes like depression, loneliness, suicide, alienation, poverty, redemption, all those dark things packed in a little 4-hour-long YA package. So if you want to feel sad, Whirligig will definitely scratch that itch for you. I know it did for me. At its core, Whirligig is a coming-of-age story about a young man who's trying to make right past wrongs, and his contemplations as he travels across the country and deals with his guilt and his depression and his alienation from those around him. And it's a very angsty read. A lot of YA novels are incredibly angsty, but I found it very easy to relate to our protagonist. And it's not very often that I find it easy to relate to a protagonist that I'm only going to know for a few hours. It's a very short read, and I do feel like this book would have benefited from being much, much longer. There was one thing Paul Fleischman illustrated very well in this book, and it was that all humans on this earth are connected in a very complex web of interpersonal relationships and historical events, and how every action we take has far-reaching consequences that we could not even comprehend. And he did a very good job at very simply but profoundly illustrating that point and that reality. I really do wish that Whirligig revisited several of the point of view characters that we meet earlier in the book. I know this book is about the main protagonist and how his events influence people around the country. But I found a lot of the other point of view characters a lot more interesting and a lot more compelling than our main protagonist. And I do wish we could have revisited them. I understand that might have gone against the whole themes of this book and what he was trying to accomplish, but he should have made the main protagonist more interesting. Because you don't really feel empathy for our main protagonist because he is particularly interesting. You feel empathy because a bad thing happens to him and he wants to overcome it. But besides that, not very interesting of a character. But I feel like all the other point of view characters, which we only get one chapter each for, were very compelling, very relatable. They had complex histories that he describes in a very succinct way. And I almost feel like his accessory point of view characters were more fleshed out than the main point of view character. So this book was really a mixed bag. The emotional impact was done very well, but I was frustrated by the lack of depth our protagonist had. Especially when you compare our point of view character to his very interesting, compelling, and lifelike ensemble of secondary point of view characters, who I really do wish were more in the spotlight. Because every chapter I was reading that returned to our main protagonist, I kind of felt like was mostly a drag. And I was kind of hoping to get back to the characters I actually was enjoying. So this book was a mixed bag. I understand why it kind of hovers in the 3-star range out of 5 stars, but I had a good emotional reaction to it. It was sad. With hopeful undertones, I like the majority of the characters, just not the main character, and it's a short and sweet read that you could finish in an afternoon, and that's always good. Thank you for watching my video, guys. If you liked it, push that little thumbs up icon. Subscribe to my channel if you want to hear me talk about any other books, and I'll see you next time.